There's so many times when I'm making these videos for you guys, I'm trying to wrap you in the first 30 seconds to make you want to watch the video, but I don't think there's anything that I could say to wrap you in more than this right here, guys. That's right, we are at Navarre Beach today. I love this beach. It is beautiful. You can see how it's nowhere near as busy as Pensacola Beach. And we're gonna be doing a drive around, giving you a tour of Navarre Beach. So make sure you stick around, and there's also a few things that I'm gonna expose to you happening to Navarre Beach for the near future to come. So let's go ahead and get in this video right now. All right, so the first thing that I want to cover before we get into the car and really check out some of these houses that are in Navarre Beach is the starkest difference between Pensacola Beach and Navarre Beach. And that's going to be the fact that Navarre Beach is not all that commercialized compared to Pensacola Beach. When we're talking about restaurants, pretty much all you've got is Juana's, which is right over here, if you can see it. And we've got Andy D's, which is right over there. And then you got Windjammers across the way. That's pretty much it when we're talking about restaurants. If you're talking about a grocery store, you have to go back onto the mainland of Navarre across the bridge in order to hit that grocery store. Otherwise, those little ins and outs that you might need if you are living within the Navarre Beach area is going to be this gas station convenience store right behind my back right here. That is the biggest difference. But here's the thing, guys, and something that I'm going to kind of expose a little bit towards the end of this video is what's going in right past over there. There's actually something that's going to be exciting that's proposed to be going in over there that's going to be changing it up a little bit when we're talking about the amount of amenities that are in Navarre Beach. So let's go ahead and hop in the car right now and start checking out a few of these neighborhoods, and then we will end at that spot right there and I will reveal what is going to be going in, what has been proposed for that area. All right, so as we're driving down the main strip of Navarre Beach right now, you guys are out looking north. I wanted to just throw a quick note out there before we go through the first neighborhood that I really wanted to show you guys, and that is that Navarre Beach, outside of the amenities, outside of the commercial, restaurants, shopping and stuff like that, the other huge difference between Navarre Beach and Pensacola Beach is pretty much all of Pensacola, and I say pretty much because I personally think it's all of it, but is leasehold, right? And so what it is there's like a 99-year in place over at Pensacola Beach. It's ran by the Santa Rosa Island, something right along those lines. It happened back in the 40s. Escambia County pretty much controls all that. Whereas Navarre Beach, you can actually own the land that your property sits on. Now, it is situational. There are still a few properties over in Navarre Beach that are still leasehold, but you can find a property over in Navarre Beach where you actually do own the land that the house does sit on. All right, cool. So the first one I'm going to show you guys is there's technically only two canal neighborhoods on Navarre Beach, and the first one's going to be on this side over in Homestead. And just to kind of show you the difference, because there is a difference in the housing that is on this canal. Now they're going to be on the Sound Canal, so it's not going to be on the Gulf side, but more on the Sound, the waterway. That's where you're going to have those canals in order to access that waterway with your boats, to be able to park your boats at the house. So let me go and see which road I want to take going in here to make sure that we see all these. So I'm probably going to go down Homestead so we can show that. And there's actually some great things over here on the south side that I do want to show you. As we're coming back, I'll kind of show you those things. So this is going to be home port right here. These houses, like I said, that you're looking at right now are currently on a canal, where the ones across the street actually are not on the canal. And there's one more canal, one street over from where you guys are currently looking at, where you do have houses on a canal. But here's something that I want you to notice, and I actually got done just showing a client around in this area, is how close these houses are together and how they're not on the largest plots of land. And there isn't much land. When they put these canals in here, they're trying to put in as many as possible. And that's one thing that I've seen been a huge deterring factor for anyone who are wanting to relocate into the Navarre Beach area. They just don't like how close these houses are together and how there really isn't that much land. Now, if you do want a property where you don't have to maintain as much, that might be great. You might be like, heck yeah, I'm going to take that because I don't have as much yard to take care of. I don't have as much land to take care of. And so that might be something that you do want, but that's a deterring factor that I've seen many people I've shown on over here. They do not like how close these places are and how it's just not that large lot of land that they're kind of looking for. And as we're leaving this neighborhood, I'm going to talk a little bit more, but you can see these houses out here that are not on the canal. They do have a little bit more land, it looks like. Yes, a few of them are going to be a little bit closer and such, but they do definitely have larger lots, larger front yards, larger driveways, and that's something that's a lot more appealing to you guys when you are kind of like looking at relocating into this Navarre Beach area. And here's something else I want you to know while we're driving down here. It is nowhere near as busy as Pensacola Beach. Pensacola Beach is crazy. Even right now, it's September, but I guarantee you're going to find so much more traffic over at Pensacola Beach as compared to Navarre Beach. And that is actually something that people love about this area. It's a lot more quaint. It's a lot more quiet. They don't have to deal with as many tourists. Yes, Navarre Beach does experience tourism just like Pensacola, but not to the same extent. Not as many people are coming here. And that's a huge plus. The majority of the time, when you experience the tourism here, now Pensacola Beach kind of has a little bit of this when you're talking about, you know, being by the beach ball and all the public parking. Majority of the tourism here is more towards like the condo buildings, the high rises that are closer to that public parking. That's where you're going to find the majority of that tourism. Otherwise, when you're driving down here, guys, especially now that it's off season, just look how quiet and quaint it is. You barely see anyone out here. If you do see anyone that is out here, majority of times it's locals or people who are out here on doing a short-term rental who are just, you know, walking around, riding their bikes, enjoying their little vacations if that's what they are doing. And it is so much quiet here. But look at these fantastic houses. And the price points, it does seem like to me, are going to be a little bit more over here. Now, that's not to say you're not going to find stuff in the 4 and 5 millions over in Pensacola Beach, but you can find some very similar, more expensive properties over here in Navarre Beach, even though it's not as popular when it comes to tourism. Maybe it is the fact that it is a little bit more quaint. It is a little bit further from that tourist destination, why people are willing to pay that top dollar for these spots. But yeah, there's some great homes up in here, some fantastic spots. You can see on the front side, it's not a sidewalk, it's more like a path that people would take their bikes on, that people could walk on, and it's off of the road a little bit. You can kind of see that looking out the video right now. But yeah, these are some fantastic homes. And the other thing I really like about this is that on the back side of this, actually, you know what, I'm gonna turn down one of these trees so you can see it. Actually, you know what, I'm not going to do that, because if I do that, then you're just going to be looking at water the whole time. And I'm sure you guys are going to want to see the houses that are in here instead of just looking straight out at the waterway or at the sound. So let's go ahead and check this out. Like I said, I'm just going to keep on driving, and we're going to go all the way back down to this other canal neighborhood. But just get your guys' eyes on this area, and it seems like it's definitely not as long as Pensacola Beach when we're talking about the amount of houses that are in here. And then it ends at the Nat Seashore. So technically, if you wanted to right now, say if you lived in Navarre Beach or you had a place here in Navarre Beach, but you want to take a day trip over to Pensacola Beach, what's great is you can just take the Nat Seashore, take that road all the way down to Pensacola Beach and take advantage of that. You won't have to pay those tolls going over from Grove Reef proper to Pensacola Beach. All you do is just take that Nat Seashore. Now, there's something that's potentially coming in the future when we're talking about the bridge that goes over to Navarre Beach from Navarre. And they're talking about putting a new bridge. With that might come a new toll bridge. Currently it is free. You can just cross over to Navarre Beach for free, but just know that in the future, I think they're projected to have that done like 2027 or right around there. If that does happen, there's a good chance that that is going to end up being a toll bridge, so something to keep an eye out for. Another thing that I did want to mention as we're driving through here, guys, is many times when you guys are calling me, your biggest worries are going to be flood zones. When we're talking about Navarre Beach, whether we're talking about Pensacola Beach, you are going to be in most likely an AE flood zone for the most part. I mean, every now and then you'll see the other ones, but an AE is the majority of what you're going to be seeing. So the chances of you paying flood insurance are pretty much 100%, depending on your lender, or, you know, if you buy cash, obviously it's 100% up to you. But if you have a lender in place, just know to expect that you're most likely going to be paying for flood insurance. Here's something else that I did want to show you too, is there is a few products that are coming in here, and these houses that we're looking at right now, these ones are on the waterway, or we call it the Sound, right? All these houses back to that, and so that's nice that you still have this water access. Yes, it's not the Gulf, but people do like this if they do have boats and they're not on that canal access. Actually, people sometimes prefer this over canal because you can look at that expansive body of water instead of just being stuck within the canal. So these houses right here are going to be, you can see how their piers or private docks all back there. These ones are going to be right on the waterway, right on the Sound. So if you do have a boat, these are some great options for you, so that if you did want to take advantage of parking your boat pretty much at your house and not having to put it into storage or storing it somewhere else, these are great options for you if you are looking at Navarre Beach. And you can see as we're driving around right here, I'm going to just stop so you can see that is the other canal that we're looking at now. We are on the furthest west portion of Navarre Beach. Right after this, we go straight into the Nat Seashore. So this is the furthest you can go with all the development, because you can't develop that Nat Seashore over there. This is the furthest west you're going to go, the furthest from the Navarre Bridge. But if you want to hop over to Pensacola Beach, obviously you're going to be closer living over here in Navarre Beach as compared to that first spot that we're at with all the commercialized stuff, we know, with the restaurants, and then that gas station that is on the east side of Navarre Beach. But you can see there's a few lots, see new construction. They're building some stuff in here with this canal neighborhood. You see a lot of signs too. There are many short-term rentals here, as goes the same for Pensacola Beach. You see many people who are investing here, or say they want a property here, but they don't want to just be a dead property, right? They want to be able to take advantage of making money on it. And so you see a lot of those short-term rentals happening in this area. Now here's something that's right in front of me. I'll get up here so I can show you, that I also wanted to talk about, and then I'll go on the backside and show you what that looks like on the backside of the north side of the main strip going down Navarre Beach. This is rare right here. So if we go through, let me get around here. This is a paved public access to the beach, to the Gulf of America. That is rare here in Navarre Beach, because many times when we're talking about these public accesses, it's just a sand parking lot. Now, what sets this apart from Pensacola Beach when we're talking about public access to the beach, they both have their main public parking lots, right? Where they have the larger parking lots where people can park. You have those, but then you have these inlets, these separate kind of in-neighborhood public access to the beach. Navarre Beach has done a better job about having those be accessible, where it seems like over at Pensacola Beach, you're having to park in neighborhoods in order to access those beaches. It's pretty much you parking in front of someone's house and then walking across that bridge to get at your access over to the beach. We're coming up on another one right now. Let's see if this one, I can't remember if this next one that we're walking up on is going to be sand, or like I said, I'm pretty sure that's one of the only ones, the paved one that we looked at back here. This is majority, yep, we're coming up on it right now. So this is mainly what you're going to see when we're talking about that public access to the beach from Navarre Beach. You can see how it's just all sand and gravel. That's majority of what you're going to be expecting when we're talking about the public access. All right, so now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and find a road. We're going to go to the backside, back on the north side of Navarre Beach, and hit the backside of the main strip when we are talking about this housing. So you can see that the houses are on the backside as well too. All right, we just turned north and we are going more to that backside, and I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like, because you can still get a house on this side that's not facing the Gulf, but there are still some great properties over here. Believe me, guys, I've been showing a few of them here recently. There are some great houses over here on this side. Are they a little bit cheaper? Maybe a tiny bit, not so much so, but it's good to see that on the backside there are some stuff available. You can see there's one right there. And you know, of course, not a lot of them are as glamorous looking as the ones that are on the Gulf, because the Gulf is like the primo spot to be. Everyone wants to be on the Gulf. All right, guys, I'm gonna get right back into that video. So if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the Emerald Coast today, specifically, we are talking about Navarre Beach. Make sure you give us a call or text at that phone number right below. Right there, we are your top relocation experts. We focus 100% on you. No one else in the area, just you. So make sure you give us a call if you do want the top experts in the area helping those of you relocating into the area. But if you're not quite ready to purchase, make sure you follow along by smashing that subscribe button, thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time we put out a brand new video. All right, let's get back. We're going to be going back onto the main portion of Navarre Beach, the main road. Coming out here and kind of showing you these houses. Oh, you know what? It kind of sucks. I should have showed you a few down there. Oh, well, we'll see if there's some good ones down here too. So we're going back on the main road. So these houses are going to be the ones that are located right on the Gulf of America. You can see the water is right out there, that main body of water. Here's another one of those parking lots. We're talking about the sand gravel parking lots. Yeah, you can't really see the water from here, but I guarantee some of these houses have some great views when we are talking about Navarre Beach. And there's one thing that you notice, because for the most part, I've been letting this camera roll the entire time I've been driving this, it's really not that long. Navarre Beach is not that big. It's not near the size of Pensacola Beach. And again, that might be why a lot of people do like it down here. They feel like it just doesn't have the mass or the expansion for it to become something like Pensacola Beach. Now, yes, they are looking at doing some improvements here, bringing in some new stuff, but just know I don't really see it getting to the point that Pensacola Beach is, you know, that main kind of commercialized hub for tourism. And that's something to know, and one big reason why people do love it down here. All right, now we are getting to back to that portion of where the main amenities were in Navarre Beach. You're going to see where I hit the first tower right here. Like I said, the towers are pretty much pushed down here towards this portion next to the bridge that comes over to Navarre Beach. So the majority of your tours, I mean, okay, majority just because, you know, how condensed they are, of your Airbnbs, your short-term, your rental people that are going to be staying in this area are going to be on this side of Navarre Beach. And you can see that was the first tower that we just passed, and you'll see there's a few more. I think there's 3 more that we're going to be hitting just right down here. This is where majority of that congestion is going to stay. But even so, even in the peak of tourist season, it's really not going to be that congested, guys. Look at this little boutique here. I've never seen that before. That's pretty cool. That's cool, yeah. Nice little boutique right there. That's yeah, I've never seen that. Maybe I just wasn't looking, or it's new. Who knows? We got a Marriott right here. You've got some condos down here that you can purchase, and then a lot of people do end up, you know, Airbnb short-term Airbnb, or then, you know, short-term renting them out. You got a gift shop over here on the left-hand side that you guys can't see. But yeah, like I said, this is pretty much it. This is Navarre Beach for you guys. And as we're going through here, I want to show you one last thing, because there's one thing that Navarre Beach is known for, or okay, I could say has the record for, when we are talking about the state of Florida. And let's see if you guys could see it out here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, because I'm sure you're not going to be able to see it with all these different buildings, is Navarre Beach is known for having the longest fishing pier in Florida. That's interesting, right? To think that this kind of small beach town right here has the largest fishing pier in Florida. And you can see right out there, pretty much where Windjammers is at, that little restaurant, that is the pier right there. It's super cool to know that that is the longest fishing pier in Florida. And then we're going to go down here, and now we're going to be revealing that spot that I told you about in the beginning of the video. Something that I wanted you guys to wait around for so I could tell you about. So let's go ahead and go over here and show you this vacant lot, and I'm going to give you some info on what to expect. All right, I'm walking up to that spot right now, guys. You can see right behind me is going to be the public parking for Navarre Beach. Make sure I don't step on something I'm not supposed to. But this lot right here, check this out, this vacant land right here, This is the proposed area for the new boardwalk, and the county's already earmarked $5.5 million for this project just earlier this year in 2025. But this is supposed to be the new boardwalk happening over here. I think right now they currently have two phases. The second phase is going to have some food trucks, but bring some restaurants, some shopping, and all that more over into this area, some more amenities for Navarre Beach. So that is exciting. Like I said, it's still just a proposal. They're still going back and forth. It's gonna happen. It's just, what is it that is going to happen, right? They're going over a few different details. I even think the location, the exact location, they're going over the details of that. All right, thank you so much for watching, guys. I greatly appreciate it. If you are looking at purchasing real estate here in the Emerald Coast, we are your top relocation experts. Give me a call or text at that phone number right below. Right below it there. We always answer, doesn't matter date or time. But if you're not quite ready to purchase, make sure you follow along by smashing that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, notification bell. That way you're notified every single time we put out a brand new video. Till next time, we love you. Bye.